BattleBit Remastered has added an image when you launch the game saying major update operation overhaul coming soon. I thought I'd just get that off the top of this video. I still have no idea when this was coming, and there's been nothing on the internal sign saying this is anytime soon yet to come. But that's all the bad news out of the way, so let's get straight into this video. In this one, we are going to be talking about the ranked or competitive mode or potential that BattleBit Remastered can bring to the table. Gonna cover a few things in this one, even have a special guest, which is a really good conversation. We're gonna be talking about what has been done so far in the competitive space in BattleBit Remastered, what I actually think a competitive mode could look like, and what are my thoughts all about it, what are some of the positives that ranked can actually bring to the table, and last of all, is it what the game needs. Now, the gameplay in the background for this video is my recent gameplay, which is actually from a server of about 50 players. So as you may know, the game has dropped dramatically in player count, and this is the only Australian server which was up when I was playing the game. And yeah, it's about 25 versus 25 on Conquest on Selhan, and it actually plays well into what we're talking about today. If you didn't know, BattleBit Remastered did have a competitive scene. There were actually two, I believe. One was pretty big in NA region, and we had a smaller one here in OCE. Both were made and managed by community members. There was really not much involved at all with the actual devs. This was purely driven off the back of the community. Now for NA, we had Snowman, which set up BattleBit Blitz, which looked more like squad battles essentially. I believe they had teams of 16 versus 16, and it was more towards the clan battle setting with big amounts of players. Now this got attention of the big clans as well as a lot of the dedicated hardcore players that really wanted to show off their skill. This community got to the point of creating actual badges for their teams and scheduling practices, scrims, and actually competing against each other. When this actually started up, Snowman invited me to help and assist with all of this, but unfortunately I was just too busy at the time to throw my hat in and assist. But it was something I was actually interested in, as I did have a bit of experience with this sort of thing in League of Legends. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately I didn't have the time to either help out or participate. I know one of the things that Snowman really wanted was dev engagement and dev assistance in promoting and getting these communities, or his community, more exposure to the players of the game, and just help with features and just other stuff that would have helped out the competitive side of the community. I know last time I spoke with Snowman, he was pretty frustrated at the fact of how little support that he received, and how I know that his Discord server now for BattleBit Blitz is pretty much just put on shutdown mode until anything comes up in the future where it could be reignited. But that's his main complaint, has just pretty much been the devs. Snowman pretty much has nothing good to say about the dev team and some of their decisions, how it's affected his community. I would have had Snowman himself in this video to explain for himself, but he is preoccupied at the moment. But Snowman, if you do manage to watch this video, please feel free to leave your thoughts if you want to in the comments below, and I will pin that for everyone to see. And then on the other side of the world, we had OCE, and we actually got Mr. Wong himself in this little interview as one of the creators for the OCE competitive scene. Let's jump into a little bit of that. Introduce yourself if you want to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm TONO, Mr. Wong. I do a bit of YouTube, a little bit of streaming. I've never introduced myself before, but play a lot of BattleBit.
When did you start playing BattleBit? Is a good one.
Played a bit in the playtest, like a few, maybe 4 or 5 months before like the game actually came out in early access or whatever.
You're one of the OGs.
Yeah. I feel bad because I remember like, when we joined then there was OGs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I was like, fuck. I have a little bit of esports experience in terms of like Rainbow Six. I played on the ESL ladder because back then it wasn't like super established. There weren't like tiers and shit.
What stands out to you as an appeal for ranked or a competitive game mode?
Oh, honestly, it's like where you're more assured that every player is trying to win. There's like less RNG in a ranked mode, hopefully. It's a game where I want to hop in, and when I win, it's because I played good. It's not because of some random shit going on where like the enemies weren't really trying. That's like how I feel about ranked. The actual rank itself doesn't matter as much as like having the competition available.
Just a simple version of as in game mode and why 4v4.
Of course, yeah. It's the game mode Rush where it's like a circle radius around one objective that both teams are like aiming for. One team is defending the objective and the other team's attacking. It's kind of like King of the Hill, but instead of just standing near it, you have to be effectively AFK because you have to hold F to plant. And the reason that's really big is because that means you can't just solo win. You have to have teammates protecting you. You can't just plant the bomb out of nowhere because it'll take a few seconds or whatever, and you can't really shoot back. That's just an inherent like teamwork check. If you try to just rush and win on your own, it just doesn't work because you get killed when planting the bomb. So that's why we like Rush more than Domination, purely because like Domination is cool, but hub stomping, like you're running around and shooting people, we want it to be way more focused on like teamwork and make we just an inherent check that you have to have teamwork. So yeah, it's 4 players, the bomb's in the middle. And then the only other rules are that we limited explosives to like 2 per life and RPGs are on 1. And that's just because dying instantly to an explosive doesn't feel very fair. But at the same time, if it happens in regular BattleBit, why not tune it a little bit so we can keep it in this game mode, try to keep the essence of BattleBit like going. And the reason we choose 4 players on each team is a lot of people say that's like very small amount. But the reason we choose such a small amount of players is because if your entire squad gets wiped, you have to spawn really, really far away. And that's very, very punishing. And we wanted that to actually occur quite often, just so players go, okay, I can't just run in and throw away my life. I do have to like think at least a little more. And generally what you'll find in 4v4 is each team will have one player sitting somewhere just as like a spawn point, just so the other players can spawn them as much as they want. But if that one player who's acting as the spawn point dies and they get wiped, it's like a huge punishment. We just want something where you can verse people who are good. But currently in Battle, if you're grinding like KPM, the real life sport that's like most similar to is like track running or like swimming, where you're trying to beat your PB as opposed to like actively competing against someone like basketball or something. Yeah, they offer that like that one outlet, but people want active competition against somebody else. But 4v4 started out of that kind of feeling, you know what I mean? Like where it was like getting into the actual matches, it's like, you know when you kill like a really good player or something like RoboCat or something and you're like, oh hell yeah, I got him. You kind of wish you could just get into an area where you could just fight that player over and over and like really see why they're good and why you're good and things. I don't know, that's like how I felt about it. And I remember someone was like, why don't you guys just start a game mode? Like me and Gamerworm, and I was like, oh, I mean, I guess we could, you know what I mean? Like,
Mr. Wong and I actually chatted for a good 20 minutes or so, and I think all of the conversation was pretty good. I'll leave a link to our full 20-minute talk in the description below, just if you guys want to hear our thoughts. Keep adding some snippets from that conversation into this video as he does cover some of the other things that I want to talk about. Okay, so what do you think of when I say BattleBit Remastered rank? Is it a certain game mode? Is it Conquest? Is it Rush? Is it Capture the Flag? Is it a mix of game modes? Is it 4 versus 4? Is it 8 versus 8? Is it 16 versus 16 or 127 versus 127? Let me know in the comments below what you think would be a cool, or what do you reckon, what should be BattleBit Remastered ranked mode. Let me know in the comments below what you vision this mode to be, as I'm eager to see what you guys have to say. But you guys didn't come here for me to ask you questions, so here it is. This is what I envision for BattleBit Remastered competitive. When I think of BattleBit, I think of this image right here as the Steam banner, and of course, what do we see on the left hand side? We see a fucking tank. A tank accompanied by a full squad of soldiers. So this would be an 8 versus 8 game mode with one vehicle each team. So essentially a squad versus squad type game mode. I feel there's a lot of interesting routes that you can take this, being protect the certain tank while you push up to an objective, or just having it there as the firepower to push through and take the point. There's so much that can be worked with having a vehicle plus a full squad of teammates, and then having those classes split up between having a certain amount of support, certain amount of medics each team. I think there's a lot for us to work with this course setup. But yes, my closest reference to something like this would actually be the Battlefield 1 ranked game mode that they were trialing. I never actually got to play it, but that was something interesting to me. It was a squad of 4 or 5, I believe, with a vehicle versus another squad of 4 versus 5 and had to capture a point or something like that. Once again, that's just the closest thing to what I envision what BattleBit Ranked can be. The communication between person or persons in the vehicle and the people on the ground or taking up cover in buildings. There could be game modes of trying to get one vehicle to a certain spot on the map and for the other team to defend or try and annihilate the vehicle. Or it could just be in place for, let's say, a King of the Hill type game mode where both of you are contesting this one position and then the vehicle is just there for the assistance. I feel like it can bring a lot of diversity and complexity compared to small arms battles between the players, because I feel like will come down to mostly skill diff and whoever has the better aim will win. And this is where one of Mr. Wong's comments caught me by surprise.
I wanted to balance it more like, this is gonna sound like weird, but like Overwatch. I didn't want it to be like Counter-Strike or something. I wanted it to be more actions per second as opposed to accuracy of decision. I want the players to, like, because the actual game is fast paced, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to capture the essence of being really good at regular BattleBit and then condense it a little more. Like compared to actual BattleBit, it's more accuracy of decision, but compared to other tactical shooters, it's way more like actions per second even.
And I 100% agree. I think that BattleBit has something to offer here where the other competitive shooters don't really. You have games like Valorant and Counter-Strike which are more methodical and slower pace, and once you get that one kill on a guy, that can change the game. It's very intense and slow, where in BattleBit I'd prefer to have a faster action-paced ranked setting. I think that's why the finals was appealing to me more than something like Counter-Strike, because it's much more action-packed, and once you make one mistake, you're not punished completely for the whole round. So this is where referencing games like the finals and Overwatch, because I feel like the classes can be those hero type mechanics of being unique individuals, potentially have 2 assault, 2 medics, 2 engineers, a support, and a recon. So that's your 8 players right there. So I feel like everyone has their role and has to fill that role effectively in part of the squad to be able to defeat the enemy team. That's what I feel like would be a really cool ranked or competitive experience in BattleBit Remastered. It's very unique with having player vehicles actually controlled, where I don't think any other ranked competitive mode has that. And then also being 8 players, that is still a larger amount of players than most competitive games. Most are 5, like League of Legends, Overwatch, and so on. Just let me know if you guys would like a more structured and full out plan of what this actual ranked mode would look like, because I don't really want to get too in depth with it here. But yes, of course, just a vehicle and 8 players on each team to fight against each other and fight for an objective more than just kills. Now, what are some of the positives that this mode could bring to BattleBit Remastered? One would be bringing back your dedicated players, trying to earn a certain rank or goal in their BattleBit career. From my own personal experience with League of Legends, I try and hit a certain rank at the end of each season, and it keeps me coming back to play the games and get the rewards for my rank at the end of the season. And I think that's something BattleBit could really capitalize on. Gun camos would be good as well. It depends on how good of a quality they are, because I did hit Onyx and Halo Infinite in Season 1, and the rewards for that was just a gun charm and a pretty basic ass camo for your weapon, and it really didn't feel that satisfying to put in all that work and achieve this little token, essentially. So I feel like the end reward would have to be pretty significant for how high you achieve. And by the way, Onyx rank in Halo is the highest rank that you can hit, and yeah, so the reward for that was pretty minimal in my eyes. But games like League of Legends, you get a skin pretty much and a few little other bits and bobs, but the skin is the main end of season reward. It pretty much allows you to flex on your enemies and be like, okay, I hit this rank, this is how high of a rank I am, and you can easily tell how high or how good a player is just by looking at what they're using skin wise, essentially. BattleBit could take advantage of this, not as much for camos for guns, or do both. Do a camo for your gun, and a player helmet would be pretty sick. And be like, oh, that guy got the fucking diamond helmet, that looks sick as, or you know, something like that. More I don't want to get, I want to emphasize, I do not want this to turn into fucking Fortnite or Warzone. Have it still grounded as a military outfit, but make it look really cool. And I feel like having this would bring back players like myself to compete every season for these rewards, as well as on the third-party competitive mode side. If they did have a unique reward for winning a tournament to actually receive this in-game skin or in-game content, that would be really cool and would get players to sign up for tournaments to compete, you know, earn this unique reward, as well as having some sort of ribbon or badge on your player profile would be awesome as well, to make playing BattleBit more rewarding and having a goal set for players.
Definitely adding a skin would be like everyone who's wanting to play would go for it for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be so fucking good. Let's say we did like third party shit. If the devs like made like a skin or whatever as a prize, I really feel like that would instantly up the engagement of any third-party game modes.
Yeah. And then this can take out a lot of the sweaty players from normal games, and then the dads that just want to get home from work and just chill out, play BattleBit can do so without getting stomped into the ground. But then it also offers the good players a good mix between, okay, I can just jump into this casual game and drop 100 kills without really trying, because they have something else to try at and use all their effort into, which would be the ranked mode. So then they wouldn't, well, I know I wouldn't try as hard in a casual game. So there's some of the positive things that ranked could bring. And the final question, is this really what BattleBit is in need of? So the main question that was put to us by Oki was, are we gonna have a competitive mode or a Milsim mode? And it's really a toss up between the two because of how much time and dedication will be required for one or the other. I can see the ranked competitive mode bring back a lot of the community, especially the hardcore players and the ones that were here pre-early access. But then I don't know if this is going to be hitting the core player base of BattleBit Remastered, because I believe majority of BattleBit's players are more casual base, which just want to hop into a game, blow up some shit, shoot some shit, talk some bullshit in chat, throw another shit in there. Where I don't think ranked will be very appealing to them. Where on the other hand, Milsim might fit that a little bit better because of the slower pace of a Milsim. It might be a bit more chill and laid back, even though you have to use a lot more communication and it's more hardcore, but just the pacing of a Milsim compared to a ranked mode, it would be completely different. Where ranked, you're leaning in, you're concentrating 100%, where in a Milsim, you can still kind of muck around and have a laugh and still play as a squad and have that more relaxed type of experience. So right now, in my eyes, I do believe the Milsim is probably going to be the one that will be pushed forward, just because I do feel like it does suit BattleBit Remastered a bit better. I would be happy for either at this point. I'm really not fussed. I guess one of the negatives for a ranked setting, which I'm talking about, is that time is a big factor that comes into that. Time is a bitch when you get older. Time is a bitch when you're an adult. If you're an adult, you would know. But then this can interfere with competitions and stuff. Let's say if it was a tournament on Saturday night, but you already had plans and then you can't get rid of those plans to come to the tournament, as well as then you might have teammates which want to scrim and practice and whatnot, and that will just eat so much time up. That's for like the third party scene. And then for a ranked mode that you have to come back to over and over and over again to increase your rank, depending on how long it takes to rank up, it might just be too much time to put into for players, and then eventually just give up of trying to achieve a certain rank. Apart from that negative though, I don't really see much else negative coming from this. I don't think splitting the player base would be an issue, because right now the player base is nothing. But yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. I don't want to drag it out too much longer. Thank you again to Mr. Wong for joining in and having a conversation. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel for BattleBit content and also his streams. Now, if you've made it all the way through this video, please give us a like if you did enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates on BattleBit Remastered and more content like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Big Bodsta!